Before I start this video, new stills, new year. Also, here's the channel's other mascot who makes his return. This is Zeno, and you'll hear my voice come out of him whenever I don't have this funky background. Anyways... Generator X is probably one of the biggest influences for a lot of content I enjoy now. I'm not kidding when I say it's inspired the way I want to do sound design, transformation powers, and more importantly, I found myself realizing when I was a little more inspired than I should be with my own project. While I would love to sit down and review Generator X a little positively, I wanted to go over my biggest issue with it. I think that kinda sucked in the end. Which was that one of the main characters having amnesia, and then basically ignoring that plot point. Only the problem is Six isn't the main character. That title goes to Rex, a character who has amnesia. This is the part of the video where I give some background so you'll understand Six. Generator X follows Rex on Earth filled with microscopic machines called nanites. What was meant to heal was instead turning people into mindless beasts or sentient mutants, all labelled under Evo. These can affect anyone and everything from a plant in the ground to a Mexican priest, and happens at random times and multiple times. There's no limit to it either. However, Rex is a character with amnesia, they later call Blinks. He'll forget everything from his past, including his family, friends, and that he has powers at all, at random points in time. How this relates to Six is during the Season 2 episode 6-6, Rex was meant to have his memories restored, only the machine malfunctioned. Six saved him, but it shaved off the past 6 years of his life. Providence, Holiday, Rex, everything and everyone was erased from his mind. The episode goes through him going back to his assassin days before joining back when he realizes Rex will put his life on the line with a little hope. That seems really familiar. You would have thought that with Season 3 would continue this plot point, mirroring that like father like son, they share amnesia. Only 6 months later. Yeah, so... Fun fact, during Season 2's finale, Rex is sent 6 months into the future, which to me is a great plot point to accelerate the seemingly lightened timeline of Season 3. Only, it kind of erases Six's amnesia completely. Kind of. Despite Six having amnesia, there was a small detail I left out. That episode he got amnesia in was the second last episode of Season 2, and he only has one line in the finale recalling the event.
The name's Six.
We've met.
Don't remember.
And in Season 3, he's kind of the same character he's always been, and nothing like the younger self he supposedly was. And while you would have... Alright, I'll stop saying. He has a few lines during Season 3 where they acknowledge his amnesia.
Don't you remember when I first got them?
Actually, no.
But never focus on it. And that's not a great sign. Around this time, I probably would have explained how they could have gotten around this, but since I actually like what they did with Season 3's story, just remove it altogether, it makes no difference. I personally believe Six having amnesia should have been fixed in the end. They didn't continue it, and it didn't affect friendships and relationships, especially with that one shapeshifter episode, so cutting it out should have been the end game for it, especially since Six deep down trusted Rex as he always would. I honestly don't think it would have anyways. The 6-month skip wouldn't have made Providence the big bad of the season, and wouldn't be as interesting for the story, where they have a lot more chips than Rex's crew does. Because it really does just suck. Six is such an interesting character that amnesia still could have worked in his favour, taking a toll on him that he isn't the same as the others see him, and so he's rustier in fights he's already fought, affecting Holiday and Six's relationship, and maybe even having Rex feel guilty. An episode that does great at that kind of aspect was Season 1's Rabble. Rex finds a group of his friends from his past before he found Six. It showed how each of them were all great friends who could never leave the big bad, Mark Hamill. I mean, Quarry.
I've missed you, Rex. Been seeing the news.
And that was because before he blinked, this version of him had no morality and didn't consider them friends. He sacrificed them to Quarry so he could escape that life. The friendship he rekindled upon finding them again was snuffed out almost immediately. But through that later half of the episode, he tries to prove to them that he isn't that same person anymore. And being with our protagonist for the past 12 episodes, we've seen his cockiness, confidence, and most importantly, his compassion for humanity. We know he's telling the truth by how he destroyed the journal, his one connection to each of his blinks, which was all for the sake of for his friends. And it's disappointing Six never had an episode like that where it could have challenged his cold persona that he isn't the same person and likely never could have been. The experiences he faced molded him into who he was in episode 1 to losing his memory. While it's great that part is deeply rooting into him, which is something no amount of memory wiping can ever erase, but it's just a plot point that he's held on to with a small few mentions, and implied he's learnt a lot in the 6 months Rex was gone for, which again is disappointing. Despite his main character affecting his memory of important figures in his life, entire event that happened, the countless lives we didn't even see a glimpse of in Rabble, or even a fear of turning into this big mecha will erase his memories again. When they focused on that aspect, it was great. It was never used as a jab to anyone who does have amnesia. Honestly though, since it's barely brought up, it's a really good show overall. If you ignore the end to that episode, you'll think it's smooth sailing throughout. Because I really do recommend checking out the show though. It's by the same creators of Ben 10 and it's a fantastic watch. While Season 3 to me is the weakest, especially with that final scene which didn't have the intro music.
It's time for a revolution. Isn't that what you five wanted? A revolution? Well, welcome to it.
The machine that's hyped up that Rex built isn't on screen for too long, kinda disappointed, not gonna lie. And the bigger issue that just boils down to the final group of villains who never make an appearance beforehand. So I don't remember any of their names or what they do. But hey, it is the season with the Ben 10 episode.
I'm the cat who's all that! The Wrath Attack! And about 100 other things.
Besides that though, you'll probably like something about the show. I've linked a Google Drive I found that has all the episodes, so you won't need to worry about any viruses. Or spend $79 in total on YouTube for, 5 seasons. Just to charge you more. Spirit out.